Carl Jung formulated the relationship between the archetype and the instinctive mode of behavior in a diagrammatic model. To the right is the ultraviolet end, and to the left is the infrared end. The sphere of the psyche is the entire spectral band. At the infrared pole, the psychic processes flow or merge into the physical processes. How and where are still unclear in many respects. At the archetypal pole, the modes of psychological reaction appear. There would be the place of the unobservable structures that impose themselves on the psyche as archetypal images, representations, and thoughts. That would be the pole from which spiritual inspirations emanate. The two poles may be characterized as mind versus matter. We see that there is such a polarity when we imagine a person possessed by a drive. For example, a nymphomaniac who is possessed by sexuality, or someone possessed by the craving for food, or some other such drive. On the other hand, people can also fall under the domination of the spiritual pole. For example, someone who is possessed by an idea. At either pole, there is no freedom, but rather a certain automatism. The more the psychic processes merge with the behavior patterns and the physiological processes, the less freedom remains. Reactions become automatic and compulsive. The same things happen at the ultraviolet or mind pole. People who are possessed by an idea are no longer capable of discussing it from the standpoint of critical evaluation. The extreme case is represented by the psychologically ill person who thinks that he is the savior of the world. We cannot bring his weak ego complex to criticize this conviction that once came over him in a vision. Every psychotherapist knows that nothing can be done here. However, if one has studied the archetype of the savior through myths, it becomes possible to predict what the ill person may now do or say. He is more or less caught in an archetypal automatism, which is accompanied by a feeling of fanaticism and absolute conviction. Only in the middle region of the psychic spectrum, in the sphere of ego consciousness, is a certain freedom available. Only there do we have voluntary motivation, which Jung defined as psychic energy that is available to the ego complex. At the edges, the psychic energy is appropriated by the other unconscious complexes.